there was probably a small minority of people that was thinking to a certain extent, oh no, Sonny's just calling all these people out just for talking points. He doesn't actually want these fights. And I can't say anything but that. It's never been further from the truth. I've always said that I want the hardest fight. I want the biggest fight. I've done everything up to this point I've needed to do with myself. And this is the time really to prove what I've been saying, what Frank's been saying. You know, stop Casemiro, stop Tete. Hasn't lost in 13 years. A legit fighter. This is the stage now where, you know, the whole world will be watching.
Welcome to the Lowdown, brought to you by Unibet. I'm Dev Sahni, and joining me today is a man who, in just his 16th fight, will be challenging for the IBF World Flyweight Championship. Sonny Edwards, you've got it. You got your world title shot. It's happening.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I'm very delighted. I mean, if you trace back, you know, the last maybe 18 months, this is the fight I've been sort of heading towards the most. Maybe it's the fight I've been mentioning the most, probably the fight that was easiest to make. So it made a lot of sense. You know, I mean, I respect and I appreciate the IBF as well and the belt, and winning it will be you know, a dream come true, like on a major level. I mean, it also was, you know, the first world title that my brother challenged for. So, you know, seeing him get that close to it, like something that I want to, you know, put right, get that into the family, be the second world champion of the family as well. So it's all exciting. Now I've done everything up to this point I've needed to do with myself, and this is the time really to prove what I've been saying, what Frank's been saying, my management team have been saying, to prove it. Do you know what I mean? It's all right, you know, stating and making, you know, brash statements about I'm this and I'm that, but this will be my first introduction to genuine world level boxing, and this is where we'll see really where I'm at. I mean, Moruti Mthalane, you know, he's got a great record. Don't really need to sell him too much. 41 fights, 39 wins, 26 knockouts. You know, stopped Casemiro, stopped Tete. Hasn't lost in 13 years. A legit fighter. This is the stage now where, you know, the whole world will be watching. Well, anyone that cares about flyweight boxing anyway.
No, I think a lot of people care about flyweight boxing now, and fights like this will capture the imagination. You say you've been targeting the IBF belt for a little while. Moruti is rated #1 by Ring Magazine at flyweight. Why have you gone for what could be on paper? I mean, this is a hard fight. You talk about we don't need to sell him. You mentioned it yourself. He's beaten Casemiro. He's beaten Tete. His last loss was to Donaire on a cut like years and years and years ago. Why have you gone for him?
You know, I've always said to everyone that I will fight anyone. I mean, people keep like there was probably a small minority of people that was thinking to a certain extent, oh no, Sonny's just calling all these people out just for talking points. He doesn't actually want these fights. And I can't say anything but that. It's never been further from the truth. I've always said that I want the hardest fights. I want the biggest fights. Because one, I don't carry the fear of losing to the extent of, I don't think that one loss or losses, they don't derail your career completely. It's more people's mentality that it derails. And I'm not that way inclined, you know, and not that I'm thinking of that for 1 second. That world title was coming home with me. Like, I put in way too much work for the last 16, 17 years of my life for this. I mean, I dedicated so much time, sacrificed so much. I mean, people look at me from the outside and just think, oh, he's just a mouthy little prick, basically. But really, it's like, I've worked so hard. I'm 25 years old, and I started boxing when I was 9. Like I said, this is the fight to really make them stand up and take note. And like you said, #1 ringing magazine. That means obviously if I win, surely I'm #1.
Surely.
You know what I mean? And then the unification will be for the Ring magazine against whoever wants it. And then Sonny will be the biggest name in British boxing at 5'3". How about that?
Well, this represents a huge step up in competition. I think let's look at your resume. Probably your best win, Thomas Asomba, right? Would we go with that?
Me, I would say that. A lot of people probably wouldn't. You know, you might think Farag, but there's Granados, who was also very like a tough fighter, who'd got some wins at world level. He beat Aston Palicte, who at the time was #1 with the WBO or something. And challenged for world title. I think he drew for a world title and then lost. So I've had a few decent ones, but the problem with it was until my profile and platform was up to a certain level, it was hard to get the opponents in. And then even when they did, a lot of fighters, for me to build my career on the way up, have always been saying, "Oh, I'm fighting for a world title." Do you know how many fighters I've heard say that? Like, I start spinning out names. Oh yeah, I'm fighting for a world title. When it's just like, when I get this one now, and when I do, I'm not going to be in a rush to give none of these fighters. Like, obviously, I've got to get it first. I've got to win it first, but I'm not going to be in that rush to give it to them. It's going to be okay. Now we're talking about me because I've tried to fight the best at. I was offering out Harvey Horn at Southern Area level. I said I'll fight him at Southern Area title. He's saying 12. You know what I mean? Which just I will fight anyone at any level because really good fights don't need belts attached to them. They don't. You know what I mean? And if more people had that mentality, then I probably would have had some better names on my record. I probably would have had some harder fights on my record that people would be like, oh, he boxed him. But it's not been from want of trying. And I've kind of bypassed most of the other competition out there just by being the one that's ready to throw down. And if they don't join the game, then I'm, you know what I mean? I'm next up.
So do you feel sort of at the peak of your powers right now? Do you feel like you've improved so much as a fighter since turning pro? Why is right now the right time for you to challenge for a world title?
I mean, if not now, when? I mean, I've been boxing 17 years. I mean, this will be a great measuring stick to where I really, really am right now. I mean, I believe in myself that much that I know that I can give anyone a hard time on my day. And I've just got to prove it at the world stage, not got to get caught like a rabbit in headlights, not let the occasion get to me, which I don't think I will. And it'll probably be helped the fact that it's going to be in a sterile environment as well. Just me, Moruti, Uncle Frank, and a few other close associates. No crowd, no fist bumping on the way in. You know what I mean? We're getting in there, having a scrap, and we're getting out. And I should be getting out, hopefully, with that world title. This might be the right time to get Moruti. I mean, he is an old veteran, 38. He's had more professional fights nearly than I've had fights, not full stop. Do you know what I mean? And the last time he lost, how old was he? 25. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
It's a few things planning. I remember one story I'll say about Moruti is when we was in Ukraine sparring, we was both sparring partners for Dalakayan, the WBA champion right now, and we didn't share no rounds. But as soon as we both, me and Jay Harris were there the first day, and then he'd come. I think the Friday we were there, the Wednesday or something. So the first spar that he seen me, I knew who he was. He was a world champion. He was an IBO world champion at this point. He hadn't got the IBF back, but he'd been one before. And the first thing he said to me when I asked him for a picture, because obviously I'm kind of a fanboy, do you know what I mean? A big boxing fan. He went, "Oh, I loved watching you spar. You're 100% be a world champion." They were the words that come out of his mouth. The first thing he ever really said to me, do you know what I mean? So it's just like everything sort of stars aligning. And right now it's like, this is such a great opportunity for me. To me, I can't lose a single thing going into there. I know what I'm capable of and where I should be, but I can't lose a single thing. I feel just blessed to be on the platform, and I feel happy just to be here. I'm feeling like Andy Ruiz. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to ask to take a picture of the belt before I go out the way if he'll let me. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy to be here. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that.
Do you know, that's incredible that this man told you several years ago after watching you spar that you will be a world champion. And now here you are, 2021, you're about to take him on for his world title. What a story.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? It's one of those, like, I really like the man. I really like the man. I mean, we spent 3 weeks eating 3 times a day together, training together, doing each other's corners. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I like him. And he's
you're not gonna torment him on Twitter then?
No, but I never do it first. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Is I'm like, look the way I box. I just sit there reacting to everything. So I'm a reactive person. If you put some stimulus in front of me, I react to it.
This fight coincides also. You've signed a new long-term deal with Frank Warren. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, Frank put me in a headlock and said, "Son, you ain't going nowhere." We've had such a good relationship up to now. He's put me in the platforms. He's got me the opportunities I've needed. And now this is my turn to kind of pay him back. I mean, yeah, we did ink that new deal for my long-term future with Queensberry, with Frank Warren, looking after my career. And I'm very happy for that. And I genuinely am very happy for that. Didn't want to go elsewhere. I've got what I was worth, in my opinion. And now we're set. And look, first fight in that new contract, world title. Here we are. So it's a great place to be. And obviously, if I get this, or when I get this, and we push on, it's a great place to be. I mean, I know Britain hasn't got the most world champions it's had in the recent few years. If anything, it's probably the lowest yield it's got at the moment. I mean, I know there's Coley and Williams, and there's a few more popping up, but I just want to get my stake. I want to get my claim. I want to be up there with the British world champions. What names do we list when we're talking about the best in Britain? And I think people have seen my style do the same thing at journeyman level, English level, British level, international level, some whatever level he really falls in. I don't know. I mean, depending on what Asomba turns up. But they've seen me do it at all these levels, and always it is, oh, when he steps up, it's not going to happen. But I've heard that my whole life. I mean, in the amateurs, England coaches weren't sending me to tournaments because they said, oh, it won't work over there. Then I was told I wouldn't get on GB because it wouldn't work there. And then when I did, because they couldn't ignore me because I won the ABAs, I went to the first one and it worked. And then when I turned pro, the GB coaches and some of the lads were laughing at me saying, oh, he's not going to be able to do anything as a pro. Do you know what I mean? Said it wouldn't work. So I've always been told what I do is not going to work. And then if I can bring this all the way through, my awkward, sort of one of a kind, elusive, throwing all different shots and making people miss by just the slightest of fractions. If I can bring that style, it's a style that I've molded myself. I mean, you can't really like too many people to my actual style. You can't pick other fighters that box like me. That's why when these fighters fight me, it's like they're just learning boxing again. It shouldn't be a boring fight because he's going to drag me through hellfire to get this world title. I know that. I'm already prepared for that. I've been sparring, lightweights, Josh Padley. I've been sparring Brad Foster, 10s, 8s rounders, getting him ready for his fight, him getting ready for me fight. Remember, he's 3 weights above me. British champion, good fighter, doing loads of rounds with him. Now I've got Asomba coming in. I've been sparring Sean McGoldrick. These are all fighters realistically heavier than me. Do you know what I mean? Really, all the time, because I know that that's what I need. I need people that are physically superior to me. And if I'm still getting my success, then you can put anyone in front of me, especially when they're weighing the same as me. That's my mentality. That's my methodology. And I do really think that this is setting up to be, my finest hour in boxing so far.
Does he put a bit of fear into you? Are you sort of watching his fights? Are you watching him beat Tete, beat Casemiro, these amazing fighters?
I've seen all of them. I've seen all of that. I'm a fan of Moruti. And yeah, he puts fear into me. Same way somebody did. And what it brings better out of me. Do you know what I mean? It brings better out of me. It means I'm switched on more, focused more. I'm looking at his face in front of when I'm sparring all these kids and when I'm training. And the other morning I've got up at 7 in the morning. I had to drive 20 minutes to go, half an hour to go do a run on steps and some hill when it's pissing down rain. No issue, no bother. I'm motivated, and fear for me has never been a bad thing. Fear makes the hairs on my body stand up, makes me get goose pimples, and makes me elevate to that next level. You see me, when I have genuine threat in front of me, you see me change. I mean, look at the fights when I've been put down. That put down is like someone who's just, put 2 new batteries in me, and I'm a different fighter from what happened before that. I want to get to world level. I want to operate world level. And then I don't just want, easiest defense. Let's do in 2.5 years of blagging everyone. Nah, I want number one. If I lose, I'm coming back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's it. I'm trying to fight until I'm Murray's age, 38, 40. That's what I'm trying to fight to. So any little speed bump that get before there, I don't care. I enjoy boxing. I enjoy the journey. I enjoy training. I enjoy having to work 2 or 3 hours a day and sit and lay on bed all day and be able to do anything I want. I enjoy my lifestyle. I've been sorting out of all the world champions, this is the one I wanted the most because I think my style's best to this one. You know what I mean? I've kind of picked the way I wanted to go and I've gone that way. Picked Asomba as my last opponent when it was offered to me because I had this kid in my mind. It's for an IBF title, like not exactly same story, but kind of archetypes of each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and at the end of the Asomba fight, you were stood in the ring with a red and gold belt. Obviously, it wasn't a full world title, but it was a little bit of a glimpse, perhaps, into the future. Was that done by design?
Yeah. If I went through my phone and there was some messages, I think with my manager, when I offered Asomba, I was like, yeah, because I want Moruti, and that is great preparation for Moruti. Like, good, advanced, kind of slow feet, not as fast as mine, but heavier handed than me, physically much stronger than me. And a genuine good level fight.
Well, tell us, May 1st, what's going to happen in there live on BT Sport when Sonny challenges Mthalane for the IBF World Flyweight title?
I'm gonna make it a boring fight, probably 116, 112 him, and then be the most humble winner ever. That's the plan. If not, if I lose, I'm crying sour grapes, saying I got robbed, blaming food poisoning and anything I can.
Sonny, perfect. I really look forward to it. I'm glad you've got your shot, and yeah, I commend you for going after this guy. As I said, flyweight #1 by Ring Magazine. There's probably easier routes and fights out there. You can maybe jump up weight here and there and see what you can do, but you've gone for a legit guy, so you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Then I think after that, I'm gonna have to get Yield Gallery to paint me a new picture.
I think so. Just talk us through that quick.
I mean, it was there's a picture that a photo from one of my fights when I'm trying to balance all the belts. You know,
yeah,
when you've
got so many,
it starts getting hard. You know what I mean? And when they're my sponsor, they're my main sponsor. Them Copper Jacks, my two main sponsors. And to what's the word? To thank me for letting them sponsor me, they got me a piece of art done. And you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. I mean,
doesn't get better than that, does it? Yeah.
And now I'm starting to collect art. Actually, I'm going to start making some smart investments. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But
this is actually from Muhammad Ali's family. They thanked me for sort of buying it. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the autograph on the side. Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one, mate. Listen, Sonny, thank you very much for joining me today. And yeah, congratulations on your world title fight. Can't wait.
No, thank you, me either.